Hi all, today I want to talk about the Lachmann-556 in Modern Warfare 2. This is an assault rifle that is a little tricky to use. It's pretty rough, it doesn't have very good damage output, it doesn't have very great handling, but it is incredibly stable and it's fairly adaptable because it has a massive attachment lineup due to being placed on the Lachmann platform. Of course, in order to unlock the Lachmann-556, you will need to use the Lachmann-762 first, which is similar, just it hits a lot harder than the 556 in exchange for worse control, but the two weapons are actually fairly similar, and realistically, once you get the 762 down, you'll probably have the 556 down. As for the Lachmann 556 itself, it is a very adaptable rifle, but it is a very mediocre rifle. You can make this thing work any way you want to. If you want to build it for close quarters and you want to give it a big magazine, you can do that. If you want to make it into a sniper, you can do that. If you want to make it into just a reliable generic assault rifle, you can do that. You can build it so many different ways, it's not even funny. But in my humble opinion, the only place where the Lachmann 556 really shines is in Search and Destroy. And the reasoning for this is, in Search and Destroy, usually you're not playing super aggressive, usually you'll be holding a lot more corners. You'll be kind of waiting, positioning, not just rushing into gunfights. And the Lachmann 556's stability and accuracy really helps it here. Because what this essentially means is that with the right setup, you can kind of position yourself well, and you'll be able to easily take down targets before they have time to react, because your aim should be good. You should be hitting upper body head if you have the aim to do so, and the gun will kind of naturally work its way there because it's just very easy to use. And because you'll usually have the positioning advantage and are able to get the drop on enemies, you won't have to worry as much about its DPS problems. That being said, you could still make it work as a defensive weapon, I just really wouldn't recommend it. Now, as for the build, I will only run mine in Search and Destroy. I genuinely don't think you can really use it efficiently in other game modes. Obviously, you can grind it out very quickly in shipment, but if you want to really get the best out of the 556, you're going to need to play Search and Destroy. Its disadvantages are simply too large for other game modes for it to really shine over any other assault rifle available. Most of the time, even, you're still better off picking an M4. It's just a very underwhelming weapon. It's reliable, but it's underwhelming and mediocre. So, as for the build I recommend, for just your generic Search and Destroy build, I recommend anything that reduces recoil and anything that makes the gun more accurate. Now, how you get there is up to you. Personally, I go with a heavy stock, a simple 1 to 2x optic, the longest Lachmann rat barrel available, and a vertical grip of your choice. Again, how you get there isn't exactly a problem, but in general, I find that for Search and Destroy, you want the gun to be very controllable, very accurate, and you really want to maximize its accuracy and reliability. You can't really make up for the DPS problem no matter what you do, so you're best off just trying to build the gun's strengths, especially since, like I said, in Search and Destroy, you'll be able to position yourself effectively to make maximum use of those. As for the magazine, you could honestly go anywhere here. I personally prefer the 15-round magazine because I like the reload speed, I like the agility of the magazine. But if you feel like the standard magazine is fine, you can. If you want a bigger magazine, you want to take down more targets without having to reload, you can totally make the 40 and the drum work. Just for me, I personally prefer the agility of the 15-round. And given that in Search and Destroy, usually you'll be picking smaller gunfights, I find the 15's benefits of just the faster agility, faster and sight speed, faster reload are really helpful. That said, for your camel grind, when you need your double kills, absolutely shove the drum in there. It makes it way easy. Same for the hipfire kills. For your suppressor, I would just say either drop the magazine or, drop the stock and just replace it with the suppressor. It's just a very easy weapon to use. It's just a shame that it doesn't really shine anywhere. It works in Search and Destroy, but even then, you're still probably better off using an M4 or a Chimera or an M13, etc. It's good, it's just underwhelming. As for your secondary, obviously you can run pretty much anything with it. I recommend something that has a lot of DPS if you're running overkill, like a submachine gun. If not, just pick the pistol of your choice, it doesn't really matter. As for your other perks, just run whatever you like for Search and Destroy. Personally, I'm a big trophy system fan. I really like the drill charge, I like the stim, etc. But it's really up to you. It doesn't really matter, just it fits best into Search and Destroy. So, as per usual, we're going to jump into a Search and Destroy match. And I'm going to show you how the thing performs in the hands of an average player in an average match, completely live. There's no editing whatsoever. This is exactly as it happens. There are odds you just get a bad game and a bad map, and the Lachmann sucks. There are odds you get a good game and a good map, and you can actually really make the weapon shine. It's very hit or miss with this thing. A lot of it is feast or famine, but a lot of that can be still controlled by how well you're playing and how well you're positioning. More than anything, positioning is key with this gun. You can't rush into fights, you just don't have the damage to do so. But, if you're playing right, you can easily drop people and score chain headshots, as long as you have the aim to do so. It's really nice for that regard, but it's still underwhelming. Ultimately, it just suffers from the fact that there are other assault rifles available, right? Like you can bring M4. I need to mute my players. Haha. Mute. Oh, there we go. Now I can go back to talking. As I said, live gameplay. Embassy. Very good map for the Lachmann. In general, I find for the Lachmann, longer range maps generally work better than shorter range ones. In a short range map, you have more room to be surprised, to be ambushed, and you'll really feel that DPS loss in comparison to other weapons. But on longer range maps, you can pretty easily click heads, given how easy the thing is to control and how accurate it is. So, of course, live match. Just going to be giving you my thoughts on it as we use it, and trying to make the most of the gun. So, as I stated, you can't really push super aggressively with the Lachmann. Due to its DPS disadvantages, it doesn't really work if you decide to go ultra aggressive with it. You can push with it, don't get me wrong, especially if you have the aim to back yourself up. But it's still not great. However, once you are positioned effectively, you can pretty much hold lanes, and you won't really have to worry about much of anything. Now, looks like we have upper hand. Yeah. I didn't get to do anything that round. And honestly, that's how it's going to be sometimes with the 556. Unless you're willing to be super risky for it and confident in your aim, you're probably not going to be super aggressive with it, and there are going to be times where you're just not going to kill anyone.
Search and destroy.
You'll still be useful in your positioning, of course, but you just won't really kill anyone. I would say, in Search and Destroy specifically, the gun does work much better on defense than on offense, just due to the nature of the team sides. Ooh, snipers. Yeah, you don't win sniper duels. You'll win against most other primaries in battle, but you will get just shredded by snipers, obviously. And that's the other, like... You can't really comfortably push people because you don't have the DPS, but if the other team is using sniper rifles, you're kind of just going to get drilled at long range. It's a pretty rough time. It's still a decent weapon, and I recommend using it, especially because if you want the Lachmann sub, the holy MP5, you gotta use it, so get used to it. It's not very great. I mean, there's a reason you don't see much of the movies, just because of how mediocre it is. It's just rough. So, anywho, waiting out the round. We'll see if we manage to win. 1v3. So hopefully Davis can do something. He gets the pick. Good work, buddy. Fortunately, he's gonna have a really hard time planting. It's good odds this will turn more into a search and destroy commentary while we wait. They almost got that. Not bad. Alright. Another round on attack. Of course, that's actually a really nasty position to be playing. That'd be a really good spot for the Lachmann, in fact. So, another round. I don't really have a whole lot else to say on this gun. It's a good gun, it's just kind of underwhelming.
We've secured the bomb.
I'm not even sure, to be honest, if I'd truly call it very good. It's just underwhelming. More than anything. It's absolutely not the worst rifle you could bring to a match, don't get me wrong. It's just... You know, it's alright. It's an assault rifle. You're gonna probably grind your mastery on it, and then you're probably not gonna touch it again. there's not really a whole lot of reason to actively use the thing. Of course, with, you know, good accuracy and recoil control, you can get hits of it. Like, you know, I was just hit with a frag grenade and who knows what else. And I still managed to come through with the game. Because there's just not really severe recoil to worry about. The gun's accurate. You point at something, and you click, and after a little bit of time, it dies. But that little bit of time is usually going to get you killed too, if you don't position effectively. Alright, now we should be transferring on to defense, if I remember my search and destroy. Yes, we are. And this hopefully should provide a little bit better indication. In general, the Lachmann is a very defensive weapon. You can't be aggressive with it, but due to its controllability, it works pretty well on the defense, I find. Of course, problem is that if you're already working on the defense, you probably have other options that can do it just as well, if not better. That's really the problem with the Lachmann. And it's honestly true of quite a few guns in Modern Warfare 2. That was foolish. I shouldn't have pushed. There were just usually other guns that can do what it does better. And, in general, there's not really a real reason to use the Lachmann outside of grinding its camos and mastery. It works fine in Search and Destroy, but why wouldn't you just bring an HK33? Why wouldn't you just bring an M4? Why wouldn't you just bring an M50? Like, etc. The assault rifle lineup is already very stacked, and with the Lachmann just being so-so, it really, really suffers. Looks like we're going to get a good wind here. Anti-Slayer's holding a pretty good lane. Should be able to deal with any attackers that come through. You'd think. You'd hope. We will see. Come on. Still got 45 seconds. Not really worth pushing against. Yeah, there you go. And that's a good example of why you don't need to play super aggressive to win rounds Search and Destroy. If he'd played aggressive there, he might have very well just walked straight into the enemy's trap and gotten shotgun in the face. But, you know, you're just holding the lane. And you get kills. And that's honestly the same way you play the Lachmann. You just hold lanes. You hope nobody brings a sniper rifle. You hope nobody clicks on your head. And it should work pretty okay. Not great, don't get me wrong, but it should work pretty okay. It should make for a tolerable time using the weapon. Doesn't help that I'm just having a bad day right now. So, probably part of the reason why the gameplay is fairly mediocre. But, you know, it's live, right? I'm just not having a great game. And unfortunately, the Lachmann isn't particularly good enough to be able to carry me out of that. It is also a skill issue, don't get me wrong. But I would definitely feel more comfortable if I had a more aggressive weapon in my hand. Unfortunately, I don't have a more aggressive weapon in my hand. And as such, there's only so much I can do. There's my EMP player notification. I don't believe I talked about this in the HK33 video. You can use that EMP player notification very effectively to figure out where people are. It's the only reason I carry the DDoS. Sure, the effect it has on players, tiny. But, you use your DDoS, and you see plus 40 XP EMP player show up, and you know there's someone near you. It's a very, very powerful positioning and knowledge tool that I don't think a lot of people talk about. It's just a very useful item to have in a loadout, especially since with Field Upgrade Pro, you can actually just, you know, bring the field equipment you actually like using, and then just use the DDoS for intel. It's already on a short charge, so you can use it pretty liberally and get away with it. Alright, buddy, let's see. Blew himself up with the Claymore. Red team should have a pretty easy win here. But maybe not. Anti-Slayer's really coming in clutch this game. Making up for my poor gameplay, that's for damn sure. Alright, buddy. 4 seconds.
Enemy planted at Alpha.
Planted right under his nose? Wow. Question is, where is he? Still got 30 seconds worth of time. Fortunately, he needs to make something happen here if he wants to get the defuse off. Because there are good odds when he goes to defuse, you know. The enemy player will just shoot him in the head.
No way.
Or just shoot him in the head regardless.
Obviously you didn't.
Last. Such is life. I thought I muted everyone. Call of Duty.
Yeah, loser.
Mute all. Thank you.
Search
Like
and
it took
destroy.
away my mute. How mean. Alright, another
Favor,
round.
defend the
Hopefully
objective.
this one will go a
Our
little bit
UAV is
better.
orbiting the area.
I'm sorry for the mediocre gameplay. Not really giving you a good indication of what this gun's all about. But, alas, it is live. It is the way things simply go sometimes. It's completely candid. Have a drill charge, buddy. I know you're up in that window. It's a friendly laser. Could go in the back, but again, I don't really want to push given this gun's poor DPS. Could just hold the back main in case he decides to flank around. That might be the move. Just in case he's here. Gonna DDoS, see if we can. Yep, there we go. That's 3 players nearby. So now I should just be able to hold the door. Should be people in this room unless they've moved.
Final minute.
Yep, there you are. Oh, and then the other hallway. Cool. That's why I really like the 15-round mag. You reload and you're back in the game. Odds are you're not going to be picking multiple targets anyway in Search and Destroy, so, you know, you get your kill, you reload, and you're right back in it. Also really helps with ammo conservation, I find. Let's see. Okay, he's still here. Whoop, he's on my left.
Final 30 seconds.
Based on the audio, he's nearby. Trying to use Edo. Ow. Sometimes it just happens. Oh, there are 2 of them in the stairway. That'll do it. Yep. That sure would do it. And superior positioning allows us to win the round. It's actually a pretty close game, all things considered. Pretty close game. Somehow I really picked up on that last round. But, you know, it does kind of show you that while the Lachmann is good, it's reliable.
Inside.
It's just, it doesn't have that much damage output, and that ultimately will get you killed.
Search and destroy.
That's just the way things are. It's the way Infinity Ward intended. Bless Infinity Ward. For they have determined the Lachmann will not be very effective. That is not what you want to see with a Lachmann, by the way. That is really not what you want to see with a Lachmann.
Package in the area.
However, our teammate was able to pick 3 of them, which is huge. That's a snapshot need. He's going for a care package. Sneaky bastard. Have a drill charge. I think he got that off, you know? Yeah, we know there are players nearby. We can plant, but we've left the bomb quite far away, which is supremely unfortunate. Glad I haven't played in a while. Can you tell? I hardly remember this map.
We took a victory there. Prepare to repeat it.
Yeah, if 4 people should rush you at the start of the round using the Lachmann, run. Reposition. Find a better spot to pick, and come back. You don't have the damage to take 4 players at once. Even with superior positioning, you still don't have the output to kill those many players in one go.
Bomb secure.
You can try. Trust me, you can damn try, but you don't have it. Now, if you're getting headshots on the other hand, you can down people really rapidly. And luckily, because of the accuracy and recoil control, the Lachmann thrives. I guess you can't hit helicopters with drill charges. Good to know. Alright, unfortunately, there's an attack helicopter in here. Probably not the move to run right out into the open underneath the gun barrel. Interesting move to use the Overwatch healer this early. I tend to save any kill streaks I get for late game, you know, to really make that final round decisive. But I'm not that player. I don't make that decision. Interesting decision to run under the helicopter. I mean, I did the same. I'll be surprised if this player doesn't get nuked in the process. Maybe not. Maybe he'll be safe. Good work. See, this is where something like a DDoS would be useful. You could figure out what the player's near you. That's a frag. Okay. I believe in you. God, the place is just littered with fragmentation.
30 seconds remain.
Fortunately, it's the attacking team. Severe disadvantage on low time. Might, in this situation, might be worth just rushing straight for a site. They've only got one player, so it's not like they can cover both. You might just want to wish that you score the right
10
site
seconds.
when you go to plant.
Planting bomb at Alpha.
Looks like he's made the right move.
Device in place. Countdown started.
Alright. Let's see if he can put it all together. It's a beautiful TAC 56, by the way. I really dig the Scar Irons. That's a little small side tangent rant. It's very interesting that the new war decided not to name guns their real names. On one hand, I guess they can really be unique with the gunsmith, but I don't know, it is kind of sad to see the MP5 be the Lachmann sub, you know? Alright, good engagement.
This round is
I
on.
really didn't have faith in
Ready
him.
for the
I'm glad to
next
see he
one.
pulled it off. Good positioning won him that game. How it goes. He's able to watch a lot of lanes that the defender might be coming from to try and defuse. And it paid off. Good work. That's just some really good positioning in general. I don't have a lot to say on that.
Search and destroy.
Alright, potentially last round, attacking with the 556. I'm noticing that their players keep trying to rush this left lane,
And level it.
so I might be able to get an advantage if I move
We
quickly
have
here.
the device.
Maybe not. They might have changed up their strategy. Fortunately, it's still a really long lane, so we can just mount on the back of the pickup truck and watch. But we do also have fairly good coverage of Alpha. I might move forward just a little bit to try and get a little bit better coverage. So, in fact, let's go the long way around to the trucks. Of course, this runs the risk of, if a frag grenade should land into this van, I am just dead, reduced to paste. So, let's move over here. Ooh, double claymore, that's rough. Not often you see a claymore double, or he's just running 2 lethals, but, you know, could be either or. Okay, engagement's happening over here. Be a good time to defuse. It's a shock stick. Very useful tool for search and destroy for area. Alright, hopefully this guy plants. We have a severe advantage here. If he gets the plant off, we'll be in a really good spot. So we have to force the defender to come to us. There you are. The aim was not so great there, but the gun held out, because I didn't have to worry about severe recoil. I just eventually corrected. Of course, a bigger mag will help you out quite a lot there, but alas, it is what it is. What an embarrassing final kill cam. What an embarrassing final kill cam. Wow, I do not have the aim today. Well, we won it. 8 kills. Not terrible, not great, but, you know, that's a Lachmann for you. They're not great, and they're not terrible. They are just okay. They are surely some of the assault rifles in the game. So, yeah, overall, the Lachmann, it's an alright gun. It just suffers really badly from low damage, and it is only saved by its accuracy and controllability. That's the, in a nutshell, I can say for it. So, if you're still here, thank you, and I will see you next time. Bye.